not going to go through this whole program, but I just wanted to show you just a couple of things. I do have a print competition program I can do for y'all sometime. I just want to hit a couple things. ARAT. This is something that Ansel Adams talked about. Another rock, another tree. We see so much of this. Your judges, they're bored. So don't be boring. You're gooder than that. From Kid President. I'm going to jump up here. A lot of times we see in an image, we'll see two separate pictures. And so we want to look out for that. Another thing, if you really want to win a contest, is this going to have an emotional connection with the judges? And we can talk about that more when we do the class. Light traps and black holes. We're going to see some of these in the images tonight, and we want to learn to avoid light traps and the black holes. Another thing we're going to talk about is cropping. You can do cropping and get your image better. And then sometimes we have cropped too much, and we call that too tight in the box. So sometimes we have to give the image room to breathe. One other last thing, and we talk about this in competition, if you're going to learn, if you want to compete, you're going to have to learn how to play the game. And if it's a game, we're going to have to learn some rules. And then we just talk about all kinds of different rules in here about a snapshot, which is not necessarily a competition image. And a lot of times we see a lot of snapshots rather than things that are really for competition. So that was enough of that. Let's jump into our categories. So if we can get my screen back now, and let me get out of here. And I actually going to start with, go back to, yeah, here we go, right here. All right, can y'all see the image?
Are you sharing?
No, we see you still.
Did you share your screen?
I think he's going to have to share my screen again.
You should see a share screen on the bottom of your.
I'm looking for it.
All right, let me see if I can ask. I don't think I can share your screen for you. Let me see what I can do.
I did do the unmute, but I didn't see a share your screen, but I think we had maybe already done that.
Should be right in the middle, on the bottom. If you roll your mouse down.
Wait a minute. Oh, maybe it's here. Nope. Here's show video. Oh, that's you.
Can somebody take a photo and send to him so he could see where it is? Sorry.
Say it's on the left, bottom right?
Mine's in the bottom middle. On the left, I got to mute and unmute. Can you?
Oh, let me get back to that screen.
If you see my screen, you can see right here on the bottom. Can you see it?
I can only see you. I can't see your screen.
Okay.
I see Zoom here, but I don't see it. I'm looking hard. I see the chat, but I don't see the thing.
Jerry, I think you have to make him a co-leader of the meeting for him to be able to share.
Actually, no, it's set so that all participants can share their screen. I can do that. I don't think I can make him as a co-leader though, because I've only got a single-use license.
Gotcha. I see the Zoom screen, but there's nothing on it. It just says Zoom, and it's got a chat in the lower right, and then I've got you up here. It says stop video, and then it has a exit minimum. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get it. All right. Well, here we go. Maybe I can do this. You are screen sharing.
If you
Oh,
want,
maybe it's because your image is on. Maybe it's because your image is on your screen. You've got your
if you want,
camera on you.
Kevin, if you need me to, I can share the images and then you can just talk to them.
That would be fine, especially since this isn't working. It says I'm sharing my screen, but I don't see it sharing it.
Jerry, aren't you sharing your screen, so you have to stop sharing so he can share?
I stopped sharing, so he should be able to now.
All right, here I go, share screen. I guess this is desktop 1. Share. All right, can y'all see my screen now?
We can see it now.
I see something that says Zoom. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
See a kitten?
That's
Yeah.
it.
All right, so we're good to go now. Yes, everybody sees a kitten.
We do.
Yes.
You should
All
probably
right.
do full screen mode though.
Can y'all see the entire screen?
Yeah, we can see the whole thing of all your Lightroom.
All right. All right. So when I first started doing this, a lot of times people wouldn't tell me the truth, and that was a problem. So this is a very cute little kitten, but unfortunately, it's more of a snapshot than a competition image. We really want, I mean, it's a little just too ordinary. The color's good, the sharpness is good. There's a lot of good things about it, but the main thing for a competition shot is the interest, and it's just a little too ordinary for a competition image. I love my cat. I have a little cat, Marvin, but this one, unfortunately, is just a little bit more of a snapshot. And I hate to be brutally honest with people, but that's the only way that I know to do. I love cats. This is very, very well exposed. Color harmony is good, but we just need to get something that's a little less ordinary for the competition image. More Than a Kiss is a flower image, and we've seen a lot of flower images. This is a very nice black and white, very good details in the black, very good in the, I'm not sure exactly if that's water or if that's dust that's been added. Sometimes they do an overlay or something. I don't know if they've, what is on the flower. I'm not a flower photographer. But it is very well exposed, very beautiful image, very good detail. When in print competition, especially in black and whites, they're looking for the detail in the image, and it's got beautiful detail in the whites, and it's very well done. The next image here, Sprinkles of Wonder. This is a very nice image, a black and gold image. The color harmony is good. Did they ever talk to y'all about the 12 elements of a print? Has anybody ever talked about those to y'all?
I think
Yes,
you did last year.
we have in the past, but it might not hurt just to go run through them real quick if you have time.
Well, don't want to do that. So the 12 elements are impact, creativity, technical excellence, composition, lighting, the style, presentation, center of interest, subject matter, color balance, technique,
Right, I'm trying to get this.
and storytelling. If you go to Google and you Google the 12 elements, they will come up. So this image does have impact. It has creativity. The technical excellence is good. The composition is good.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
I muted him. Go ahead. Sorry.
The color harmony is good. I always look at color harmony. And another thing when I look at these is I say, you know what? would this sell as a poster in a store or a postcard? And this one would. So it's a good little image. The next image here is reflective beauty. Again, I don't do a lot of flowers, so I'm not a great flower person. But this has got some really nice color in it. I like the color harmony. It's all in balance. The only thing that I may do different, and I don't know what your rules say exactly, but the flowers that are green, the little thing on the flowers, I might change that to a different color if your competition allows it. The double stroke really doesn't help this image. We don't want to see the stroke so much in competition, but the single stroke around the image is fine. But I think to help this one, I would take off the second stroke, the outside stroke.
And when you say stroke, you mean the frame?
The bright purple line.
Gotcha.
What happens is they tell us when we do this,
You're breaking up
the image, but we don't want to notice it. They want us to see this or not. They don't, let me say this another way. They don't want to see, they don't want that stroke to take away from us. What they want to do is they don't want it to take away from the image. And in other words, we don't want it, when we see this, we don't want to see that stroke. So because it kind of jumps off the page, it would help this image to take the stroke off. Can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah.
My lawn people, I never know when they're going to come. They always come in the morning. They came tonight for some reason. I told them to hurry up on this side and get to the other side. So they've almost finished over here. So hopefully they'll be gone.
Can you go to a little bit bigger screen, maybe?
Yeah, let me see how to go to there. That's a little bit bigger. And I can probably bring that down. There we go. How's that?
That's much better. Thank you.
All right. So
That works.
all right, this one here has definitely really good interest. This one has impact, creativity. I've done one of these before in a class where we did the water droplets, but what really helps this image is the color harmony is so nice. You have some blue in there, you have blue and orange, there's complementary colors, it's on a black background. It has some interest, the shape just kind of grabs you. It actually looks like a tree. So, you know, it's got some things going for it. The next one here is Stars and Stripes. And I don't know how this one was done. I have a friend of mine that does some stuff like this. A lot of times it's water droplets, but then other times it's Photoshop. And to be honest, I don't know which one it is. It does have a nice color harmony. It's got a nice little pattern. You look at it and, you know, it's a nice little image. This is a muted rose. I love this image. I don't know why I like this image so much. It's very simple. The color harmony is very nice. It's very soft. It's got some creativity in it. I could see this on a card somewhere with writing over the top of it at a greeting card. And for those reasons, I really, really liked this one. This one, Still a Rooster, even though this is a still life, the thing that makes this work is the color harmony. The color harmony is very nice. It's very well lit. It looks like an old masters type of image. And it has, you know, a center of interest. It has impact. The technical excellence is good. Lighting's good. Subject matter is good. Color balance is good. I don't know about storytelling, but it's very nice. I like this image. And this one here, COVID Kid, this image is a little bit more of a snapshot. The blacks, if you look at the blacks in print competition, they always look for the details in the blacks. They look for some details in the whites, and it's losing details in the whites and in some of the blacks. Her hair is definitely doesn't have the detail that it really needs for for print competition. And I would take it's a beautiful child. I would take this child. The biggest thing when a person's in the image, we want to see their eyes, and we like to see some light in their eyes. If I could see her eyes, there's no light in her eyes, and that's another thing that we really look for in the in a person in the portrait. So this one, you know, is a little bit more of a snapshot. Did y'all want to say who won that category now, or do y'all want to wait till the end?
Let's wait till the end on all of them. Let's do that.
So let's go to general, and we'll just start at the very beginning here. Can y'all hear me okay?
What was that category, the first one?
That was being at home.
That was being at home.
Thank you, thank you.
It's really difficult doing it on this end because I feel like I'm all by myself and nobody's listening. So,
well, if you
Trust me, you have our attention.
You have our attention.
see the this black area right here? There was an old time photographer named William Mortensen, and he said nobody looks at this really dark spot of an image, and it's actually hurting you. If that tree was not in the image, it would be a much stronger image. Also, I see I don't know if that's a light or what exactly is supposed to be at the top of the pole, but it kind of pulls your interest. Your eye always goes to the area of highest contrast. And that really light area right there, your eye goes there when your eye really wants to go in here to this nice scene. Now, again, see these little green lights in here? If your rules allow you to, I would change those to orange or dark, just so they're not that, it would just give your image a little bit more cohesiveness with color harmony. A lot of times when you look at the old masters and the paintings, they pick a color palette and they go with it. And sometimes if you eliminate some of the other colors, take your brush in color mode and take those out, that really will help strengthen your image. And look, the boat looks a little bit soft, and it may be because of the time of day and the darkness, but it looks just a little bit soft. This is a nice image of a boat. You got your rule of thirds, and your thirds is you got your third sky and then 2/3 of the landscape, which is exactly what you want. It looks like you've got good detail in the roof. I can see it in there. The composition is good. Over on the upper left-hand side, there's something, I'm not sure exactly what that is. I would have probably moved my camera a little bit more so that wasn't in there. Or if your rules allow, I would remove it in Photoshop, that little thing to the upper left over there. This is something I don't get to see every day. I'm not even sure if that's a Gila monster or what it is. And remember when I talked about the light traps earlier? I don't know if you can see my little thing. There it is. See those?
Yeah.
See those right there? Those are called light traps. And your eye goes to that area of highest contrast, and it pulls us away from what we really want to see, which is this right here. So we got to do something either in post or move our camera. If we moved our camera more to the left, we would have less of that in there, so we could crop that out. I do that a lot of times because I hate doing Photoshop. I don't have time to do Photoshop. So if you could move over to the left, that would help you. I don't see a lot of light in the eyes. I don't know if there's a way to reflect some light in that eye with a reflector or something, but in the images, they would like to see some light there. The other issue is it's cropped a little tight on this right-hand side. We can't see that leg. And I would either crop in more or I would back out so you could see some more of that leg there, because you see the toes here. And we call that creepy hand if it was a person, if just the hand was shown up. The other thing is, see that green right there, or that leaf right there? I would probably take that leaf out if your rules allow it. And that would strengthen your image. Because all the things I'm talking about is just how to make your image stronger. This one is a flower, and it's got some good detail, some good texture. Unfortunately, it's a little more of a snapshot. It's a little too ordinary. I would try to photograph this where it could be a little bit more exciting. I'm not sure how to do that since I'm not a flower person so much, but I would definitely look at some of my other images maybe from this shoot and see if you can have a better flower. It's just a little bit too ordinary for a print competition. This right here is a very nice scenic, nice waterfalls. Color harmony is beautiful. I'm looking at the water in there. Everything looks good. It's a very nice scene. Little ordinary because we see a lot of waterfalls. Sometimes you got to get these where they just, just jump off the page. But it could use a little bit more impact. It does have some good color in there. I've got some red up there. But we see waterfalls. You want to try to get your waterfalls where they just grab you. This one here is a nice little street scene. The exposure's good. You got such a wrong time of day, I think would hurt this one a little bit because you can see the table is a little hot on the table and your eyes go right to those glasses and the white on the table. They also go up to your
We lost.
umbrella there, and we're looking at the umbrella rather than the top of it. Go ahead.
We lost you a little bit there, so I think
Okay.
we got most of it though. I think.
We got a lot of white here. We got red up here. This white's not in color harmony. It's almost like we have two different pictures. If we cut this off right here, we could see a distinct difference between the top half and the bottom half. This bottom half is really kind of busy and a little bit more junky. If I was doing this scene, I would wait till a better time of day so I got some better light. I would clean this table off or wait until they had reset it or whatever they have to do there because it's just a little too ordinary. It's a little bit too much of a snapshot, and there's two different images. There's the top image and the bottom image. This is a very nice little boat scene. The color harmony is good, but our subject, who is right here, he's a little bit soft. And that's what really kills us in print competition is the depth of field on that. Because we have the boat, and the boat looks in, time I move it, does it? The boat looks in focus more in the front rather than the man who's fishing. The other thing that would really help this image, if you take and you put a piece of paper over the top of it and you cropped out those boats at the top, that guy it's gonna really help him jump off the page. So you really want to look at that, consider cropping off the top of it, or if your rules allow, I would even do change the color at the top. I'd make them all blue so it matched the water. So you wouldn't want to look at that so much. So we'd look at more at him. And he definitely needs a little light on him because he's a little dark. I look at portraits, and when I do the portraits, they always want to see the light on them. I've been on that train in Alaska. If you go around the corner, there's a sign that says nudist colony, if you can believe that. I went there in '89. Very nice scenic. Exposure's good, color's good. Just a nice scene, nice little train scene. Little ordinary, but it's just still a nice scene. If I was, taking that, if I was on vacation there, I would definitely take that picture. I don't know if I would enter it in the print competition, but it's definitely a nice scene. Well done. This is downtown Jacksonville, it looks like. And I'm looking in the rocks, and some of the blacks are having a little trouble with the detail. It looks a little bit soft. And the image, unfortunately, is just a little ordinary. May want to try it at I don't know if a different time of day, or a different day, or it's a little bland, not a ton of impact to grab you. This is a flower. Again, I'm not a flower person, so I'm not sure. At first, I thought somebody had actually put some kind of jewelry on the flowers, but I'm sure that's not jewelry on there. I'm sure that's how they are. I think this one, it was a little bit, maybe, I don't know. The texture's good. The scene is good. It's just not that exciting. I probably want to get something that's, and I don't know how to make this one a little bit more exciting. I think Tony Sweat used to take and put some different colored handkerchiefs and stuff behind them. I think the purple and the green is just hurting it. I think if I had put some yellow behind it somehow, if your rules allow you to go in and change the scene.
Yeah, that's good for you. You're a color dude.
Sorry, I muted him. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I think a purple and yellow would maybe help and make it a little bit stronger, but I still think I would look at my other images and see if I could find another one. This is a very nice image of the tombs or the tombs, I said tombstones. It's a little bit more of a snapshot for what I would want for a competition image. We see these images a lot, and you don't want to bore your judges. In fact, when we have to do them, they get like 1 second to see your image and they're on the next. So, get out there and just keep shooting. This was just a little bit snapshotting. This one here is I don't do sports a lot, but they did stop. I did graduate from JU. Got some good light on them. Actually, for this time, if this was a game shot and that was especially your child, that would be a great shot for your child. But as for a print competition, I don't know that I would necessarily enter this one. And another thing, especially on people, when you see the man to the left and we're looking right into his armpit, I know this is a sports scene, but people just don't want to look into armpits. So I might consider maybe cropping that one off a little bit. Now this is Old Milwaukee, which is a boat, very well color harmony. Color harmony is excellent. The boat in the background looks a little soft. The up in the front is a little bit better. It's a creative way to shoot the boat. It's a little bit tilted down. If you look at that horizon for the boat, you definitely want to use your line tool in Photoshop and straighten that. For images like this, the judges always talk about the horizon. And it looks like it's unlevel, which makes the judges a little bit uneasy. So we do have a little bit of creativity here. We do have some impact, but the impact that I'm looking at is more on the ropes in the front rather than the ship in the back. And you may want to, put your camera in there further so you're getting less of that foreground. And so we actually look at if we look at the name of it, it's Old Milwaukee. But when we look at the image, we're looking at more of the ropes and the hole that it's being shot through, if that makes sense. I really like this image. Color harmony is beautiful, even though it's very simple. And a lot of my images are very simple. I know it's a square. I would have liked to have seen this maybe if you had room to do it a little bit more in a horizontal. The landscape images tend to be horizontal. The sun is very nice. The exposure was handled well. The color harmony is great. I love the vines. I love the barbed wire. The image works. It is a very nice little image. Gossip Girls. This one is a very fun, playful image. It has impact. It has creativity. It's got good technical excellence. Composition is excellent. Lighting's good. Everything's lit well. It has a style. Print presentation is good. It has a good center of interest. I mean, when you look at this image, your eye doesn't leave it. It grabs you and draws you in there. And I know it's a little bit more of a painterly image, and I like that. We do the same thing in our competitions. We can paint our images, but it does have center of interest. It has good subject matter. Color balance is excellent. Technique is there. It's got good little, got a good little story. When you look at this image, it makes you smile. It makes you happy. And because
We lost you.
do that, it's going to do well. Go ahead.
We lost you there. Can you go back about 30 seconds, please?
Yes, it has all the elements. It has all the elements. And when it's just tied together, when you look at this image, it just it makes you want to smile. It just makes you want to look at it. I don't know why it says mine's unstable. Turn mine off here. I'm going to turn my phone off in case it's grabbing stuff.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, this one is very, very well done. We like, even in our photographic competitions, we like to do the painting. Everything is there. It just, everything in this image just works for it. This is a nice image of a dog. My friend Michael Joseph, who has spoke at your club a lot, talks about, you know, doing these little images. The eyes are beautiful, the hair is good, the color harmony is good. But what do we look at when we see this image? And that is the tongue. And one thing that Michael does when he wants to photograph a dog is he gives him a treat. And then the tongue goes in, and you got about 4 or 5 seconds after you get a treat to get him with his tongue in. And that's the secret to do that if you want that. I love the little hairs in there. I think this is a little bit more of a snapshot with the tongue. If the tongue was in and we pulled back just a little bit more and gave him a little bit more room, we could do a little bit better with him. He's a very, very precious little dog. But the tongue, we're going right to that tongue. This is a plain image, and I haven't shot much of these. I have, way back in film days, I used to shoot these a little bit. The black that's going over the planes, if you entered it in another competition, I think that would hurt it. And that's another thing I have to say is it's just my opinion, and everybody has their own opinions, and the images they like and images they don't care for so much. And if you enter these into another competition, you're going to get another set of opinions. And my opinions are not the last word by any means. I enter mine, and sometimes they do well, and sometimes they don't do so well, but I always listen to what the judges say, because if I enter to another place, sometimes the judge on that panel might have some of the same thoughts or concerns that judge has. So I've had images do really good in one competition and then enter them in another competition, and they don't even place at all. I think there's 2 things about this image that hurts it. I have this plane right here, which doesn't have anything to do with those. Those are white, and they have that, I don't know what the effect is here, but I think that effect is hurting them. And then this one is like it doesn't belong in the image. So I would consider getting rid of that one and maybe duplicating some of these and getting these to where you can get your a more stronger image. Without that, it turns more into a snapshot type of image. This is a nice color harmony, except for the roof. If we could get in a little bit closer and eliminate the roof, this would be they would strengthen this image. I like the colors. Colors have a lot of pop to them. It has a little bit more impact. I like the boat. But I don't think the roof is needed. And a lot of times we have to get up on something or shoot it at a little bit different angle or use a different lens. If you use a longer lens, you could not have to have the roof in there, but the roof is what's hurting this one. This is a nice little scene, and I love the flamingos. I love the color harmony. The water's good. On the bottom of it, it's got a lot of white in the bottom. That's just it. It's almost like light leaks, and it pulls us away from the image. You may want to crop this. And if I was doing this, I would crop the top out and the bottom out, and I would just do a pano more of just the birds. And if you did that little crop, I think it's going to help this image a lot. The other thing I would do is I would go with my saturation tool with the brush, and I would go in and just make those birds pop a little bit more. And I think that would help it. As it is with the top in there and the bottom competing against it, it just really, it doesn't do the image any favors. Right. That's in on it, or is that's it right there? Is that zoomed or not? Oh, there, nope. Yeah, this one, it's just too tight in the box. And this right here, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. These little spots right here, they need to be cloned out. And we need some more at the top up here of the bird. He's just cut off right there, and they would really get you for that. The white at the bottom, I know it's a rock back there, but I'd probably burn that down a little bit to get a stronger image, or either pick a different image. This is a nice headshot of a flamingo. Where's the light at on this image? It's right up here, and it's right there. Now, one of the things that they want is they want a tack sharp eye, and that eye is tack sharp. But is there a catch light in that eye? There's not a catch light, and on these they want tack sharp eyes, and they want a catch light in there. I have actually thrown some catch lights in some stuff. It's harder on an animal, depending on how nervous the animal is, but even with a flash or with a reflector to get some light in that eye. But the biggest problem with this one is we got a lot of bright green through here. See all these little light leaks? All these are light leaks. I don't know if y'all can see my little cursor there.
Yep.
Yep, those are light leaks, and the light is right here, and it's just pulling away. We even got a little bit here, but they really want light in that eye. It's a little too ordinary. This one is a nice image of the bridge. The color harmony is great. The problem with this one is the bridge, to me, just looks a little bit soft. On these landscapes, especially since we have a tripod, they really want these things super, super sharp. And it looks just a little bit soft. And if I was doing this for a poster or something, I would consider cutting a little bit more. I would actually cut a lot of this this foreground out of it because it's not needed and it doesn't help it. You got a beautiful sky, and there's that dark tree. Our eye goes over to that dark tree, and just that dark tree really doesn't help us there. We need to move our spot, or at least crop it, so we don't have so much of that dark spot in there. Wow. This is a beautiful image. I like this image, aquatic ballerina. The detail is, I don't do underwater stuff, but this is very, very nice. The color harmony is exquisite. And It could use a little bit more detail in the whites. I would definitely clone some of that in right about there. But overall, if you sit back and look at this image, all of this in here just works for it. Very, very nice image. This one, I do not know how to judge. Voodoo, air plant voodoo. I think some folding and some different applications have been done in the image in Photoshop. It's very well done. The detail is there. It does have nice impact. Some judges a couple years or a year or so back were talking about images like these. I like even how he has a face right there. His eyes and nose and almost a mouth there, and almost like he's got some arms here. It's very well done. Some of these images, and again, it just depends on the person. Some people will buy this and put this in their house as a piece of art. Another person go, I don't know, mainly because of they could say, well, I could see it's symmetrical, and they folded it in half and did it with Photoshop. Personally, I like the image. I think it's good, and I think it does have good impact. This is a street, I say a street scene, this is a scenic. In the background back here, I know it's because of the sun and the time of day, it's a little washed out, and on scenics, they really kill you for that. They want that to be real, even if you have to paint it in or burn it in or whatever you have to do, is to have the whole image all the way through that hyperfocal length and just get it so that not only is this part of the image good, but that part right there is a little bit weak.
You froze, Kevin.
Am I still froze?
You're unfrozen now.
Am I still unfrozen?
Yep, you're unfrozen.
Okay. All right. So let me ask my wife real quick if she's watching TV, because that may be stealing our bandwidth. Hold on. All right, she got the computer, she got the TV off, so maybe we'll have more thing here. The sky right here, it's a little bit of a light area. Doesn't bother me too much. If they let you drop another sky in, I would drop a sky in this, and I would get more detail right in, just so it doesn't look so soft and faded right there. Wow, this is a very, very good little, I think it's a Mormon barn. Color harmony is good. The only issue with this one is if we cut it off right about somewhere in here, your eye would look more at this barn. And we got all this empty space up here at the top. And we got a bright spot right there.
It wasn't the TV.
Did I lose you?
We lost you about where you were talking about the bright spot at the top.
All right. You see, can you see it upside down now?
Yeah.
Where does your eye go? Goes right to the roof of that barn, and it goes to the sky. So what we may want to do is to burn this down in Photoshop here. I know it's kind of like snow in there, but we want to burn that down a little bit and maybe cut off some of the sky so we don't have so much of the sky. And to do that, just to darken that sky down would really help this image really jump off the page, because you got a really nice scene here. And I don't know if that was turned, those colors, or if that was in the scene. That right there is where your eye's going, and we need to darken that down a little bit so that we can enjoy the barn more. But overall, just sitting back at it, it's got nice impact. This one is another, it's a very nice bird. But the problem with this bird is what is happening to his feathers in here. They see so many bird images that the judges complain a lot of times. I listen to a lot of print judging, and they talk about they're so tired of seeing birds. And if they do see a bird, see how the feathers are all matted and messed up right here? Based on that alone, I would want me to pick another image. It is tacked sharp in the eye, and it is tacked sharp here, but, and then he's got a real awkward position of the leg there. So on the bird image, it's just kind of hard. Bird images are hard because I've seen so many, and you've got to get something that's just out of the box, just over the top to really grab them. This is an excellent image of a horse, and look, there is light in his eyes. Now, the only thing that I would do to possibly make this better is his rein. If we look right here at this rein that drops down, it would have been nice if we had pulled that back behind him, if we could have gotten that back there. But since we maybe couldn't, I would darken that down right there so we're not looking at this piece. In Photoshop, I would definitely take that out in our print competitions anyway. I would take that little piece out, but that's just a little bright there. The other thing is this is one that I would crop more in on, and I may crop it somewhere along here. The legs really aren't helping it, but if you crop this image somewhere around there and burnt that down, that image would just jump off the page. And all these little flaws right here in the skin, I would fix those. There's I would take those out. This is a very simple image, but it has impact. It has color harmony. It has there's a lot of good in this image, even though it's very simple. The only thing is, see this little piece right there? I would have cropped it so that little piece that really didn't match the scene, I would crop that out. But this one has for a very simple coming on a sign, this is very good. Me, I'm terrible. I would clean all this up. I would get rid of that green there. I would get rid of that green, make it black and white. And I would probably even change the color of that right there, because this right here is your image. That doesn't help. The green doesn't help. Not that it's bad and terribly distracting, but those little things would help it if I was trying to enter it into a competition. This image here, this boat, these boats are really dark and really soft. I like the storytelling here, but you may want to see if, and I don't know where you are, where if you can move and get just these guys and these guys in a little bit focused. It's almost shot like it was shot with a long telephoto lens, and these guys they're just a little soft. I do like the color harmony. I like the sky, but this blue here, that blue there, and that blue there is hurting the color harmony of the rest of it, because that jumps out and that jumps out, and it's got this really dark spot here. We really want to see more detail in those blacks, or at least the judges that I listen to all the time are always talking about that. I like that it's not dead center. You got 2/3 and 1/3 here, which is good. But they're just a little soft here and a little ordinary. I would try to, I know that we wanted the sky up there, but I would still try and make this more of a pano. and get rid of some of that sky and see if I could get some of this, or get rid of the bottom half if you're trying to get more of the sky. This is a nice scenic. This has got, you know, some interesting story, because you look at it and you go, I don't see this every day. The color harmony is good. This is nice. This is nice. We got a little bit of light here and here, which if I could change the color of it, I would. But overall, it's a very nice little scene. This one, it's a nice black and white. In the landscape photography, and especially in the architectural and buildings, they talk about the keystoning a lot, and we probably need to try to do some lens correction in it. For this, they'll really beat you up for that. But the details there, the color harmony is good, the interest is there. But on architecture, they really try to avoid the keystoning if at all possible. And if not, you know, try to do your lens correction in your post. I'm not even sure what this is other than magazines or books. And it looks, I mean, it's very interesting to look at. It's well done. The colors are good. It is interesting. I don't know how to make it more interesting, other than maybe make it a black and white. So it's more of a geometrical issue, or more of a geometrical piece rather than the colors. I think I would either make it a more muted, or a black and white, I think would possibly strengthen this, but it is definitely creative and different. The clouds on this one are a little bit messy. I don't know if it's a fire or, you know, a catastrophe. I think it may be. I think it's more of a documentary thing. If I was putting this in the newspaper, I would try to see if I had another shot of it. The color harmony is kind of hard to see that it's all color harmony. I would definitely try this black and white. But the clouds are just a little bit too, I don't know, little mush. If I flipped it around, let's go back and flip it, see what it did. There it is. Let's rotate that. Where does our eye go?
The clouds at the
a little
bottom.
too soft in here. A competition piece. It's a little too snapshotty, even though I think it's a fire or something going on. The image could be a little bit better. This one is just too soft. Got a lot of blown highlights, which I understand because those are lights and it's that time of day, but this one is just it's really soft. And if I was trying to do this image, one thing that would improve it is make it black and white. But the other thing is I would definitely try to get it more, the buildings in focus. It looks like there's a little bit of noise. There's a lot of noise in it too. And here is a nice boat parade. We got the people in the boats and we got the buildings. What I would probably do is try to get a little higher and get the boats, or try to get the buildings. It's almost like we have two pictures in here. And I think this one would have done a little bit better if it was a pano or a horizontal rather than it's a boat shot, but we really need to get a little bit more interest in there for it to be a competition image. This is another, at least, you know, we got the 1/3 at the bottom, 2/3 at the top. But if we look at even the writing on those buildings, they're just they're out of focus. And on landscape, they're like, they're not moving. So get them in focus is what they tell us. And so it looks like there's some places where there's no detail in the blacks, which is, you know, kind of hard unless you really work on that in post. But the story is in the sky. It's got some nice color there, but the sky image and then the buildings at the bottom, it's actually two separate pictures, and that's what's keeping this one from really going somewhere. This is a nice bird image, but the detail is missing in the feathers. I love the detail in the legs, in the feet. We do have the eye looks pretty good, but it's losing just a little bit of detail in the white. I think this was shot in a little bit of bright sun, and it may just be a little bit too much of a bright, too hot for that time of day. This is a lovely dog. It reminds me of a dog I had. It makes me smile. When I'm doing a beach scene, I really don't want to see all the stuff here of the beach all messed up. If it was a people in there, we got a real bright spot here, which definitely needs, it's the sun, but we got to tone it down. But the image is just a little too ordinary, and the subject's a little too dark. When they tell us they really kind of want to see the front of the dog and not so much of the back of the dog, or at least when we're at weddings, they tell us they want to see the front of the guests and not the back of them so much. So it is a dog, but it's a little too ordinary, a little bit more snapshot for my taste in competition. Are we doing okay? Is anybody still there? Did I lose everybody?
No, we're still here.
I don't know if everybody was going, oh, this is terrible.
Not too many people asleep. I don't think so.
Are you getting any information that's helping you make your images better?
Yeah, I think so.
I personally am. I would hope everybody else is.
I like this image. I like the color harmony. I really like this image, but what was hurting this image is it's too tight in the box. In other words, this tail, or what, you know, the other half of the image, it's cut off here, so it's not telling the whole story. If they could have included that tail, you have a real winner here. It does have some noise in it, but I think they would say that's more for effect. And I think it could do well if it was the rest of the image and maybe a little less noise in it. Now, this is a beautiful hawk. We have a catch light in the eye. We have detail in it, but we see a bunch of hawks, and because it's so close in on the head where it's, and I don't know what the rest of the image was, but because it's so far in, it's cropped too tight, a little tight in the box. And if I took this and rotated it, you know, not a 90-degree rotation, but just a little bit more rotation forward, I think that might help it. But it is tack sharp, and I just think I think the judges are going to want to see more of that bird. Either crop in a little bit closer or pull back further. Actually, closer in may help it too. I think that would help it. Here's a waterfall, and we see a lot of waterfalls. We just need something to help it jump off the page. Because I look at it and go, oh, it's a nice waterfall, but it's not, it's makes it a little bit more of a snapshot category rather than a print competition. It does have some good things going for it. It does have, I can see a lot of details in there. I like that there's not a lot of busyness around. There's just enough of this around it. But you know what this needs? It needs a really cool animal right here. I don't know how you get one or rent one to go over there for that, but or something just to help it be a little bit more. It's not, it's good. It's just how to make it a little bit better so when they see your image of your waterfall, that they go, wow.
Just one quick comment. If anybody had a question, this is the nature category. So.
I am so sorry.
No problem. I don't remember whether you mentioned it or not, but I
did not. I did not. This one is, the capture is good. Right where he is good. The feathers are a little messed up, but it may be windy and he's running. They don't bother me as much on this one as the other one, but what really hurts this image is the color harmony is good. It's got some nice impact. It's got center of interest, got a good subject matter, color balance is good. But when you really look at that bird, and I know it's shot at 1/1600th, he still looks a little bit soft. And on those bird images, they really want those completely tack sharp. And that's what's hurting this one, is if we could have got it a little bit more tack sharp. But I do love the crop. There's so many good things going for it. I just wish it was a little more sharp on the bird. Very nice scene here. A little bit more work in post, burning down, dodging and burning in post like Ansel Adams used to do, would really help this image. It just needs that little bit more contrast in there, and I have to hand paint mine in when I do it. The scene is good. I just think a little bit more contrast on the mountains would help it. And I may crop it a little bit more, crop a little bit more out of the sky, and crop maybe a little bit more in the foreground could help it too. I don't get to do this because I don't have the patience, and I don't want to go sit in the mosquitoes and to do this. So my hat's off to the maker for getting this here. If you look at his eye, that eye just looks a little dead. It looks a little lifeless. That can be brought back in Photoshop. I think that would help that image a lot. I think it's cropped right. I think it has good center of interest. I think it has good color harmony. It does have some impact, but that eye just looks, right here, it just looks a little weak. And to go in, and even if you have to hand paint and draw it in to get it right, that would really help it. This is a very nice flower, very nicely done. All the detail is there. The green over here is bothering me just a little bit, because I look at this flower and then I look at this green, and I look at this beautiful flower, and then I got this green. I may have taken and changed that green down just more where it matched the rest of the background, so it wouldn't be pulling away. If it wasn't for this big green here, this image is really, whoever the maker is, if you would go back and desaturate and get some of this green out of there, I think it would really help this image. Exquisite, very, very nice on the detail. This is a very nice one here, a little hawk, fierce. Does it have a catch light in the eye? Yes. Got good color harmony. I love the bokeh, I love the little hair. You can see every little detail. I may crop in on this just a little bit more. Birds are hard. They're hard for me. I don't really photograph birds very often. The detail is there, color harmony is there. He's definitely fierce. The catch light's there. It does have impact and creativity. I would consider cropping off right, because that red is just a different color. I would consider cropping it off right there, and that would really help, take this to the next level. But very good on the capture. Catch light in the eye is tack sharp, color harmony is good, but two things that bother me, this little piece right there and that little green right there. Sometimes it's those little things that just hurt our images. And I know it's painstaking, because I go through my images and I do the same thing. Nancy Flynn said, you have bionic eyes. You see all this stuff I don't see. And it's just because I got tired of losing print competition. And so when I kept losing print competition, I started looking at the things that was costing them from winning the print competition. And these are those type of things that really, you know, take it out of, you know, going up to the next level. Because it's got so much going on for it. Well, you got the story, you got the dragonfly, you got the catch light, you got the thing. And it's so hard because, you know, they're animals and you're waiting. I mean, you're waiting forever. Delicate arch. This looks very, very nice. I've seen a few of these. There's a little bit what they call haloing right around those edges there. And you can take that out right. It's just got a little bit of that halo there, especially right there. You can see it right there. We use a little thing called a mixer brush and we get rid of that, just a little piece there. Had it not been for that, this one would have gone on to a higher level. It does have some interest there on the stars. I couldn't shoot those stars like that. I could if I knew how, I just don't know how. And just in here, there is a little bit of, it looks like it's a little bit washed out right there. When I have that in my images, I go in and paint the detail back in so they can't find it. So I would definitely go in and fix that little haloing right there. Beautiful capture, beautiful eye lit up. Hair's good, texture's good. Everything is really good. Except, I mean, I know it is a profile there, but the animal judges are going to look at it and it's not going to excite them enough. And they're going to say, where I look at it and I'm looking at the beautiful hair on that, on the face and stuff there, they may want to see just a little bit more of a better expression from, you know, just waiting the animal out. And I know that's a pain. That's why I don't do it. This is a bird image, very nice color harmony. I don't know exactly if there is a center of interest. There is repeated pattern there. There is this white piece here, which could be removed in Photoshop. If we took that out, that could help it a little bit. But we have this, the color changes through there. I guess that's the water down there reflecting. But this little tiny thing right there in my image, I would try and take that out to get it to another level. The birds do look a little bit soft. I'm looking for if one of them is in focus, and they all look almost, they're almost in focus, but they just need a little bit more focus for nature. I remember, I don't know if y'all remember Gerald Hardage when he was around here. He said, if you're going to shoot that, you have got to get those really, really sharp images for animals. If they're not sharp, just go on to the next one. I love this. Color harmony is good. It's so simple to do. Other people have done it before, but I don't look up like that very often. I very rarely look up. And even though other people have done this before, and even though there's some light leaks, they're not crazy light leaks. I do like looking at this image. It makes me smile. And that's one of the biggest things. When I used to enter print competitions, I would just take, I could only enter one a month, and I won it every other year. And the way I won it was every month, I set out 5 or 6 or 10 images, and I just had my neighbors say, which ones do y'all like? And they would go, I like that one, and I like that one. And the one that got the most votes every month, that's the one I entered in print competition. And I won. And people were like, how did you do that? Well, a lot of times I get tied to my image too much, and I'm too in love with my image, and my feelings get hurt. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to lay my images out there and see which one has more impact with other people. And that tells you a lot. This one touched me, I guess, because I don't get outside enough in the forest like I used to. I just don't like mosquitoes anymore, and I don't want to get another tick. And so maybe it's just that. But see, I had an emotional connection with it, And so it did better with me because of my background. And I just love the outdoors. I'm just a country boy. Wow. I love this image, love this image, love this image because it's a little bit different, even though it's so simple and it's a mouse and he's eating. Those eyes just, I look into his eyes, I can almost see into his soul. I wish his nose was a little bit more in focus, but it doesn't bother me. His toenails are in focus. The color harmony is good. I would get rid of that little piece right there. But other than that, I got catchlights in the eye. I like it. It just makes me happy. This is a nice image that it reminds me of, looking at an older textbook. The colors are just, they need a little bit more pop on the colors or a little bit more desaturation one way or the other. And even when I look over here, I see this image. And then when I see this down here, it looks a little bit weaker. It just looks a little soft and a little bit, it needs more contrast in here. It needs a little, see this right here is good. This has got some oomph in it. But this here is just a little flat. And we need just a little bit more pizzazz in post-production to really take it to another level. This is one that I have trouble judging. I think they took a telephoto lens and just zoomed on it and took the picture. And that is fun, it's nice to look at. My eye goes to here, my eye goes to the area of brightest concentration, and my eye is looking right there. And it keeps me from looking at the whole image. And because this is so bright here, and this is darker here, I think it makes it like there's one image up here on the top, and then there's a separate image down on the bottom. And I don't really know how to fix it on this one, maybe tone that down or brighten that up. But it's a little bit too disjoint for my taste. I do like the artistic part of it. I do like the creativity. I do like the colors. I do like that bright thing right here. We have something in our, in my class I call Big Bird, and it's a big spot of yellow. So a lot of times when you see a big spot of yellow, we go, Big Bird. And so your eye goes right there and it stays at that big bird and it doesn't leave. So that is hurting it a little bit for the overall, but I do like the colors. This is a swamp image. We got a little bit of light leak here. It doesn't bother me so much because it's not overpowering. I think this one might be a little too snapshotty, perhaps for a print competition. If I went in and cropped it into this little piece right here, it might be a little bit more interesting. I look and I don't really have a center of interest or where my eye is going to go. I see this bright spot, which my eye is pulled to here. Then I have this dark spot that doesn't help. Mortensen always talked about those dark spots that really kill your images in print competition. This is a pretty cool image. I like the birds. I do think that I would check to see if I had another image of the birds. I think it's a little, and it's so hard because you're taking these images and you're shooting them and trying to get a really good one. I think there could be a better one, just waiting on the time. Peter Lick, when he goes out and photographs and sits places, and even Clyde Butcher, I have heard of them sitting there for days and days and days. And they get that image, and then you don't realize they camped out there a month or 2 months and, just spent the time and really got it. And you may not have had another chance to get another or better shot, but, and I see the interest in handing them the food over, but it's still a little weak for the print competition, only because we've seen so many birds. This one.
There is a question in here, Kevin.
Okay.
And that is that, the titles are showing up on there as you're going through, one of the questions is, how much do you look at the title with relationship to the picture in your judging?
That makes a big difference on some images. For example, my cousin Susan Michael, who master photographer in her own right, past president of PPA, she entered an image in print competition, and the guy had black smut all over his face. And they were complaining about the image and about how smudged up his face was. And she said, well, that's ridiculous. He's a coal miner. And she changed the title to The Coal Miner. And it went loan, which one, that's what we're trying to get. We're all trying to get loan prints. And it went loan because they explained the problem in the image. So a lot of times, if there's a problem with the image and you're not sure about it, and we read the title can explain a lot of things to us, because nobody could talk to me, nobody could call me and say, hey, I want to talk to you about my image before you judge it. So how do you talk to the judges? You talk to the judges through the titling of the image. Now, the image on this one is sharing is caring. And we see him, passing him a cricket. And that is really nice. But we have all this busyness around here to where if I really wanted to get to that, we really need to do what? Crop way in on that bird, or maybe even crop in, here so you can actually see the emphasis. But remember how we said that the birds and nature is so hard and they want to see what in there? Catch lights in the eyes. And in our competition, we're allowed to put them in there. I don't know if y'all are on nature, but I would actually put the catch lights in there if I was trying to enter it in my competition. Don't break the rules on y'all's, because I know a lot of times camera clubs, you can't do anything like that. But anyway, I would, and I positioned myself, and I went with Olis. I've shot birds with Olis quite a few times. And Olis would actually, he said, we got to have light in the eyes. And so he would go position ourselves so that when we shot the bird, light would be in the eyes. And that was in the setup. So a lot of times we have to do something like, something like that, is to set ourselves up for success so that when we do get a great shot, the light is already there in the eyes. So it does make a difference on competition, especially in ours, in the panel. Please ask questions, because I feel like I'm out here by myself.
Oh, no. I think everybody's just listening and soaking it in. So you're doing good.
Yay. So just so I don't go out there and my tires are flat. My driveway.
Your car's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. The color harmony, see that little pink right there, and that little pink and red right there? You need to put that brush in color mode in Photoshop if you are allowed, and get rid of that. That's a little bit of a light leak. I show how to do that. These right here, just those, if we could go in there, put your clone stamp in darken mode and just get somewhere, and it takes all those light pixels and makes them dark and gets rid of those little light leaks, this would do a whole lot better, because it would force, I like this. I like the color harmony, but that would make a judge, especially in our print competitions, it really hurts. They look at that. The face looks a little bit soft. The feathers look good, but especially on these animals, they say, when Gerald, when I took those classes from Gerald, he said, because he wanted to win competition. He wanted to win so bad he couldn't stand it. And I showed him my images. He goes, well, that's good. He goes, but you see that right there? There's no light in the eyes, and the eyes aren't sharp. That's not sharp, and that's where they want it to be sharp. So, and that's all print competition is. Print competition is all about wanting to get better and listening to people, and not letting your feelings get hurt, and say, you know what, I'm going to do better next time. And so, that's how I had a friend of mine, he entered a print competition. His images were great. They didn't do well. He was so embarrassed. He never, ever entered again. My goal was, I'm going to enter every single time. And I listened to what people said, and every time I got a little bit better. And it took me quite a few years to get where I really wanted to get, where I could do well in print competition. But I also listened to, there's a thing called printcompetition.com. You can pay, it's cheap, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks. And you can watch all these different print competitions. And there's hundreds, which is the best score and everything. But a lot of times you'll get your best information if you go and listen to the 78s and the 79s. Those are the ones that are almost there, but they didn't make it. And so if you look and listen to those and you write all those things down, and then you look at your images and you go, oh, it's got that problem. Oh, it's got this problem. And it helped me pick better images for print competition. I love this little image. I love the storytelling. Its eye, it's just a little bit dull there. There's a little bit of softness in it. But I do like the color harmony. It's just a little bit more detail they would want, especially in this eye. These eyes look a little dead, and they just want a little bit more detail in that one. Now this is a nice waterfall. I like this one. This one has a little bit more storytelling because see this right here? See that little S curve? See that little S curve right through there? That is neat. To get down here and get that angle so it's a little bit different. This is a very, very nice image. It's still a waterfall, but it's looking at a waterfall in a way that we don't, see the waterfalls every day. I like this one. I like this waterfall. I like the color harmony, and this is a nice waterfall. This is Misty Rise. It's a little too ordinary, even though there is mist in here, which explains the cloudiness in here. We got a lot of blown highlights out of here in the sky and in my skies, especially for a scenic. We need something really spectacular. And we got this mist, which is just a little bit kind of muggy. And I think I would want to have the impact for a great competition image. I think I would pick another image that's the sky's too blown here. If you did this more of an HDR and you did several, I don't really love HDR images, but if I just had more detail in here, I think it might help it. But there's a lot of these black areas here, which William Mortensen, he was the first rock star photographer compared to Ansel Adams. And he really talked about this a lot, and looking at your images in just make them black and white and see where all the black spots of your images are and how much they really hurt your images. I was reading one of his things earlier today, and it reminded me of that when I saw that. This is a really cool scene, if I can get back to it. I like the scene, I like the feel. This right here is really in focus. Your eye goes to the areas that are in focus, and that is your center of interest. When we want this to be your center of interest, see how that's sharper and a little bit more in focus there, and the bright colors are there. I would have darkened this down or made this soft like the rest of it and not left that so bright. In the color tool and saturation, I might saturate that and give these a little bit more contrast so it pops. The scene is beautiful. When I was a kid and I went on the Omaha River swamps and we went fishing, I love this. It takes me back to my childhood. I like that, but we're being pulled off of focus with this, and we need this to pop a little bit more to tie it together. But overall, I do like the idea. I love the little mushroom, all the detail and everything in here. But what is all this over here, ladies and gentlemen? What does Floyd tell us these are?
Light traps.
Those are light traps. They steal your eye and they take it away. We need to take this, and if you cut this image off here, and look at that spider right there even, but just to cut that off right there, that would really help this image. Or put your put your clone stamp in darken mode. All it does is makes the dark pixels. I have a competition image that I love, and it had all these light leaks in there, and all I did, clone stamp, turn it to darken mode. Up there in the top where Photoshop is, put the tool in darken mode, go over all, it turns all the light pixels dark, changes the whole thing. I got a loan print from it doing that. You could do that with this if you wanted to save the whole thing, but if not, we would just have to go in and crop if that's not allowed. I like this one here. We definitely got the double rainbow. It looks a little soft. We got a little bit of, see that little white line right there? It's a little too hazy. It's a little too noisy. And that right there, I think may possibly be sensor dust. I'm not sure. Sensor dust will kill you in print competitions. Horizon looks like it may be going down just a little bit. You can put that line tool on it in Photoshop and hit the thing and it'll straighten it up for you. I may take that. I would take this and try it black and white and see what it looked like. I got the green. The color harmony to me is just off. It looks like I got one picture down here for this water. I got this picture for the sky. If I cut it off and got rid of a lot more of this foreground, I think that might help it. Making it black and white might help in it. Getting rid of that sensor dust might help it. But it still looks a little noisy. This is another, I don't have one of those lightning trigger things. It's, let's turn this, rotate it. Your eye definitely goes right there to your center of interest. We're going in here. Let me flip that back around. The ground, if you took that ground, put the Photoshop brush tool in color mode and you painted that brown, that brown blue, wow, it would be a whole nother image, take it to another level. We do have some no detail in the blacks here. You can paint some detail in there if you were trying to sell this image or something. Because not only do I think about print competition, I think about if I could sell this image. And if I could get the detail, just paint some detail in there and turn that foreground to blue, wow, that would really help that center of interest. Good capture on that. We got all this good color harmony here, and then what is that right there? It's out of color harmony for the image. So when that happens, we have one choice. If we can't change it, make it black and white, or take and paint that blue also so we're not being, our eye being pulled away there. I would have to paint, if I was in PPA, I would have to paint detail a little bit more back in that water there. The circle there is really cool. I like the solar halo. I like this part here. I may crop it in just a little bit more so we don't have, I got to get rid of that. That's what bothers me more than anything else. It's just that messes up my color harmony of this whole image. But I do like this. I would actually go in and get some more detail. Topaz, or rather Nick, will allow you to get even a little bit more detail in this if you wanted some more there. But overall, it's nice. That is a great capture, great fish, hard to get, long wait. We do got some light in his eye, got some light in his eye. This one is really, really, really nice. The problem is when you look at that image, judges may say it looks a little over sharpened. And if you dial back down the sharpening, when I sharpen stuff, I just don't sharpen globally. I sharpen it, like this water doesn't need to be that sharp. I would just paint in the sharpening where I wanted it. I paint in more sharpening on the beak. I paint in more sharpening maybe on the fish. But the water and all down here is really sharp. And unfortunately, your eye goes to the area of highest contrast. It goes to the sharpest part of the image, and it's pulling us away from here. The other thing is we have a problem with wrong time of day. You say, well, that's when it was. Well,
yeah, it's so I checked. We did a power surge today. Like the microwave clock is blanked out and everything in that cell.
Sorry, muted him.
Can you hear me okay, or?
Yep, we're good. Go ahead, sorry.
in a print competition, do you see that coloring on the, do you see that shadow on him right there? They really don't like that. Wildlife images just have to be over the top. It's so hard for wildlife images. I think the capture's great, wrong time of day, but the storytelling, the impact, it's got a lot of the elements. To make it go over the top, though, the over sharpening and that shadow on it is hurt it. Very nice, very nice. The only thing that I would do different is I don't want to see the stroke. Judges don't want to see the strokes, or at least not in our competitions. And it's just a little bit wide. We try to go, I have a, y'all ever heard of Joe Campanelli? If you haven't gotten him to speak at your guild, you need to. I can get you his number.
He has.
Joe Camp, he is like,
Yeah.
he has, like, I have this, his are up to here, and even with the long cord, and he's got one of these that's black. He's got one of these that's black. And that black diamond, he's got that and 2 black diamond bars. He wins these print competitions all the time at the master level. And he says that stroke right there, he keeps his stroke around 4 pixels, around about 4. So we don't want to notice the stroke. That was the only thing I would think about, you know, doing to improve that. Love this here, color harmony. That's not bad there, but your eye goes to that area of highest contrast there. It pulls away from this beautiful sky. I would either maybe turn that blue or maybe crop it out a little bit more, paint it out if they'll let you. We do got a black part here, which is a silhouette. I think it would be okay in this place, but wow, look at that. I don't know if it's how noisy it is because I don't do a lot of sky images. It looks like it might have a little, but I do enjoy looking at the image. But if you cropped that off right about here, and where you don't have that pull, I think it would definitely help that image. Very nice image there. I would make this black and white. The things that really hurt, or at least me personally here, is when I look at these, he's cut off there in the middle. It's almost like he's sawn in half, and he's sawn in half right there. So those two, although this has so much going for it, so much center of interest, I don't know if I wouldn't, I don't know how to crop it and make it better. It's hard to get these. I love how the faces are like that. That is so hard. But to really go over the top, it's just hard with the crop right there, in my opinion. This is
Kevin, just to give you a little bit of background on what our rules say. They say that you can't, no techniques that add, relocate, replace, or remove pictorial elements except by cropping are permitted. You can, of course, adjust.
Gotcha.
Brightness and stuff.
That is so unfortunate. I have read 4 or 5 different things and argued in both directions, and that's why I knew the other camera club would not let you do stuff like that. But the other reason that I mention it is because some of you may want to take these and turn them into a postcard and try to sell them or do some other things. And when you do that, you can do that there. It is so hard. I mean, some of these, and I understand both sides of the argument. Our rules let us, and it's so hard not to. Especially if you're doing those, I got those books of Wildlife Photographer of the Year. You can't change anything. You can't move a stick or anything. I get it, but you know, this is, it's a great capture. It's just that if they would turn, and that's just kind of the luck of the draw too, of wait, you know, where they are and waiting if you get it, but you may not have gotten this again. And so I don't know if we could crop that right. I'm showing you all my thing, but cropping it here, I don't know if that would help or not. And when I have all these colors here, this blue and the green, I would turn it black and white so I wouldn't have that green and the blue there to compete with it. That would really help those jump off the page. And guess we're on this one. Yeah, this one is nice. The sky is just a little, you know, a little white, a little blown there, but I like the image. I like how he's sitting up. And then they got this one little thing of bahia grass right there, which, oh, I know it's got to stay, but it does take away from him. And a lot of times I just have to keep moving because I don't want to do Photoshop because I don't have time. So I keep moving around the animals if I go. It's hard, but I guess you're far away too to telephoto to keep them from moving just so I can try to get rid of that, whether I got to get higher or whatever so it's not there. I used to have to mow that almost once a week. Very nice picture here of the silhouette in the tree. Like this image, even though it's got a lot of dark area in it, that is the subject. That's where we want to go. I do like this one. I don't know that I would change a whole lot. Very good image. Does have impact. This one here has got two completely separate images. We got a dark bottom part and a bright sky part. I don't know if they'll let you process the bottom again just so you can get more detail in it, but it looks a little bit like two images, and we see so many sky images, we just got to have them. When it's a sky, it's got to be way, way, way over the top because you don't want to, what you call it, bore your, because they look at it and go, I've seen this 100 times. What's going to make that just over the top? It needs a little oomph. This one definitely has oomph. You've got the eye is sharp. The whole thing looks really good. The feathers look pretty good. Even the fish looks good. The color harmony is excellent, excellent, excellent. Even though the stroke is wider, the stroke does not bother me. That yellow eye grabs me. It holds my attention. This is very well done. Very good impact. Very good composition. Lighting's good. This one here is a little bit too much of a snapshot. We go to the gator farm. We can get close to them. We can sit. We just need to wait for a better shot than this one. This one here, the birds they're blue, which I don't have a problem with them being blue. The rule of these are what we call the rule of odds. And usually on a thing like this, and try this, if you have an odd number, 3, 1, 3, or 5, sometimes it's hard to do it with 4. 4 does not bother me in this one, but when I just see them and I look at them, it's almost a silhouette, but not a silhouette. I want to see just a little bit more detail in the birds, or I either want them to go a little bit darker. They're just a little bit in between for my taste. I do like the composition, how they're lined up. That's nice. And the 4 birds do not bother me. I was just saying rule of odds in case you had not heard of it. We do have a light area over here, which we may have to crop out a little bit. Because turn them upside down and see where your eye goes. If it pulls you out, these may need to be lightened either in exposure or in something else. And this is an alligator at the alligator farm. We do have light in his eyes. I do like the thing, but we've seen so many gators. I think you want to wait it out a little bit longer to see if you can get a better shot of the gators. Wow. That ends that category. And the next category is people. I'm going to grab a little more water and then we can start that. So I'll be right back in 1 second. Okay. All right, we're back. This image, we're in the people category, Beth in the Rain. And this is somebody's granddaughter, somebody's child. I do like the spontaneity of it. It does have something right there, which I don't know. It's just a really grainy, it's like it's blown up a little bit from a smaller shot or something. It does have a little bit of grain. There's no light in the eyes on the people, which they're really looking for. It's a little bit more of a natural photojournalistic type of shot. I don't know that I would enter it in the print comp. It may be just a little bit more snapshotty than my my personal taste, but I love the expression on her face. The mother, grandmother, grandparents going to love that image of that child. I think it's something that definitely needed to be captured. The skin on this one is really good. There's a little bit of, in the makeup here, it looks like it's almost been a little bit over sharpened there. We call this elf ear right here. We can fix this by moving the hair over the ear so you can't see through that. And a lot of times on these, they really want to see into that eye or the eye completely closed. It looks like it's a little bit open. And again, we have this really white necklace there, which draws us down. So I would probably lose the necklace because it's not helping the story there. This one here is keeping the Grand Palace grand. They're cleaning it. And I see that there. I like it. And it's interesting. It's not really making me jump off the page. I would take the saturation tool and get the color out a little bit more in this. We call it the spot coloring. That would help it. The main emphasis, and I think the problem for me personally, is these guys right here is what we're talking about, is they're the ones that are keeping it clean. But this is the part we're really looking at is the Grand Palace, and it's almost like we don't want to see them. They're cleaning, but if I was really working on cleaning them, I would make them so that they were popping a little bit more, just so it's not ordinary. So we're like, oh, we see people cleaning every day. What's my angle on? How am I going to grab my judges to really get the impact? Blow me a kiss. And they're definitely blowing a kiss. And this right here, I'm assuming, I'm not sure what this, if it's glitter or what it is, but we can definitely see it throughout the image. The eyes are good. We got color in the eyes. It's sharp. The eyes are sharp. It's just the hand right there is just a little awkward for me for portraiture, only because I study portraiture every day, all day long. When I'm not working, I'm always looking at portraiture, and the hand is just a little bit awkward. The color harmony and everything is really nice though. This one has good color harmony. Everything is really good, except for he's a little bit soft. He is our subject. We need to make sure that he is, I think even these look a little bit sharper than the man. And he's definitely, everybody's tired, and we got storytelling going on here. Maybe a little bit of the wrong time of day, but it's not bothering me like wrong time of day really bothers me. It's because we're in the shade. So that one is to make this better, he just needs to be a little bit sharper. This is why it jumps over there. Got good catch lights. Mama's gonna love this image. He's a little, Mama's gonna buy the image. You're going to get paid for this one, but for a portrait, it needs just a little bit more refining and a little bit more weighting. He's looking a little too he's just a little awkward for really for that excellent portrait. Not bad. Color harmony's good. The bench is a little bit white. I would get a different color bench because that right there, the white shirt and if I was doing this, I would put him in a light blue shirt and I would paint that blue. Or I have chairs in all colors. I would take that or even put, another thing on it, because if that wasn't white and that wasn't white, that would help us, and it'll help your sales too if you sell these. I try not to shoot white shirts. I tell them, give me a light blue or something light gray, just so it's not white, because white is so hard to shoot. I can shoot white, but I try not to on an image like this. The color harmony is just a little bit off because we got all these warm tones in here, then we got this white. And even if he was in a little yellow shirt or a tan shirt and a little tan thing there, that would help tie it together just a little bit more. This is storytelling. We've got a big white stripe around here, which pulls me to that stripe. I don't want that stripe. He is a little soft. He looks a little bit painted or over, just a little bit soft on him there. I do like this story. That right there is a little bit bright, so I would have moved a little bit camera further this way so I wouldn't have had that in my shot. And you got to learn to do that since we can't change anything. If you take this image and you make it
in people, you can change those things.
Okay.
Category, you can.
Yep. We want to definitely darken that down a little bit, or even clone. If you can clone, I would even clone out that bright spot there, and I would clone that right on top of that right there. So you're not looking at that bright spot. When we turn your images upside down, and where do they go? It goes right there. And that's a minor one. And because I have bionic eyes, when I look at these, see it right there on his belt buckle? I would clone that in and not take it completely out necessarily, but I would definitely knock it down. But the stripe is definitely too wide. And I say that because your eye goes to the area of highest contrast. I want to look here. I want to look right there. And that white stripe is pulling me out. So just be careful on your stripes. I don't realize I backed up. This one, I would take it black and white to see if I could make it so he really popped more. This would do better in black and white. This is a lovely image of a little girl. She does have a catch light in her eyes. And she's got a messy face, and that's okay because she's eating a sandwich. And it does have a little bit of storytelling in there. For me, for a portraiture, I would consider it, at my taste, a little bit more of a snapshot. And I would just try to get, the grandmother's going to love it. Mom's going to love it. Somebody that you got to get it so that when somebody that doesn't know them, that it just grabs them, and it needs just a little bit more. The skin tones in here, see how red the skin tones are? See how yellow they are here? They really want to even those out. There's techniques that can be used in Photoshop to do that, to get that skin tones like that. One of the best methods today, and you can Google it, it's called frequency separation. If you haven't heard of that, you can get those skin tones. If you took this and got the skin tones better and took out this, that would definitely help. But see the shirt? The shirt's just really busy and it doesn't help. For me, I want a less busy shirt. And then you got the green back here, so it's really hurting with your color harmony. Painters really limit their paint palettes when they go to paint, and that makes a big difference. This right here has got a lot of blown places in it. This is a really high spot. This is a hot spot, and we really want to see that face right there. So this one is really wrong time of day. I carry scrims with me a lot and people to help me hold the scrims just so I can get a little bit better control of the light out there. But I do like her face and her skin tone. There's a little highlight here that's a little bit bright for me, and this is bright, and this is bright, and that's blown. In a portrait category for technical things, they would really hurt you on that. You got good color harmony, good storytelling. The skin tones are a little, on skin tones, they really beat you up on skin tones. It's a little yellow here. It's a little red there. It's a little bit different there. We do got catch lights in the eyes. It's better than some, but we could take this to another level to get him, just a little bit more. I would turn it black and white, because I think when I have skin tone problems with people, and that's the one thing they yell at me at is skin tones, is I would try it in a black and white, because then all of a sudden they can't say anything about the skin tones. This was very nice, very nice, very nice. Normally the rule is we don't shoot up the nose. We don't want to see up the nose. We don't want the porn star shot. But in this case, I'm okay with it. It doesn't really bother me. I may take liquify and close the nose in a little bit. I close them in on my portraits on people if I'm down too low. But this one, I don't know that I would change it. I do like, there's detail everywhere. It's maybe a little tiny over sharpened, not much. I might tone that down just a hair, but overall this is excellent. It's good storytelling. It makes you happy. I ask myself, how does this make me feel? How does this make me feel? And it just makes me feel good. This one is an interesting scene. It's shooting down, but I'm not sure what the story is, because we can't tell. We can see they're doing here, or go here. It says we're in conversation, but I don't see them turned. I see her looking at her phone, but I don't know. I think this could have something, but it needs something. It's missing something for me. This is good portrait of a man. We got some catch light in his eyes. For me personally, it needs a little bit more contrast. If I entered this in the, and I think about these, I think about it personally. If this was my image, what would I do to try to get it to do better in competition? I would definitely have to get more detail in those, more contrast in here. He just looks a little flat. I would get rid of these, at least that. I would definitely get rid of that and that under that hat. I would even take out that little tiny spot right there, maybe, or at least tone it down. This right here doesn't help my image. I don't know if you know the guy, or if you could talk to him, but I would try to get that out of my image if I could. Not bad, but I think it could definitely be better, and I think contrast would help him. This may do better black and white. I'm not sure. I do like the colors. I do like the colors. I do like the storytelling. It is maybe cropped in a little bit tight. The eyelashes are a little bit soft, and the eyes, they want those eyes sharp. They really want those eyes sharp. So I would have focused right here on that. It looks like this is a little bit sharper than the eyelash, but you want those eyelashes sharp. But I do like that it's not blown out. Not bad. I think we could do, I think the eyelashes being sharp would help. This one is a very nice image of a girl, maybe a tad over sharpened, not too bad though. Got good catch lights in the eyes. I don't think the extra stroke helps us. I'm not a fan of double strokes. And I look at it and go, I want to look here at the face, and I'm pulled out by this white box here, which doesn't help me. I think the matte, getting rid of that on the matte would help it. But overall, I think this is very nice, very good expression, good exposure, very well done. I think the matte could help it by changing the matte. This is a very nice little story of a girl and her horse. She loves that horse. You can tell she loves that horse. I like the eye of the horse, the expression. but I'm seeing this big old shoulder, and that's what they call it. I never will forget Larry Ebert, when I would show him some of my images, he goes, big old shoulder, big old shoulder. And when I had this, I always had jackets and stuff they could put on, so I wouldn't be shooting right into that shoulder. They call that football shoulder a lot of times. And if you could put that shirt, because see, we want to see that skin of that face, and we also have to compete with all this skin here. Doing black and white helped it, but that shoulder, putting a jacket on, and see that right there, I have to have them take those off. That doesn't help my image in any way. I always have them take off those hair bands if I can, and I think about it. But I think a jacket or a shawl or something there would help. I keep them in my studio for that. This is a street scene, very well done, very nice. I like it a lot. Let's turn it upside down. We do have this center of interest here, even though we have this white over here. I may crop that little bit out. Right there's a bright spot when we want the brighter spot to be right there. Anyway, I do think this is a nice scene, very nice storytelling. It does have impact. I like the composition. I like the lighting. It definitely has a center of interest. Again, the white stripe doesn't help it, in my opinion. I would pick another color stripe and I would make it smaller. I love the expression on this girl's face. I wanted this one to even go higher than I had it, but there's two problems with this. One is the light leaks behind it, which I can fix, but what I can't fix is I'm shooting right into the what? The armpit, and it's exposed because of this big hole. The way to fix this is to move my camera over this way so I'm not shooting into that armpit. So we have a very nice, very good expression. We have beautiful eyes, beautiful catch lights in the eyes, but the shooting into the armpit and these light leaks, if I flip this upside down, watch what happens. Where does my eye go? My eye goes right to these light leaks, and it doesn't help me here. So, but very nice, very nice. This one right here is very well done. I love this one. The storytelling, the color harmony. This has got so much going for it. Very good, very well done. Kudos to the maker. Very nice. This here, we have a big light trap right here. There's not enough light on the baby's face. We definitely want to save that moment for the mother, but we got this big light here, big light here, really kills the storytelling on it for me. Yeah, we just, for a snapshot, yes. For a competition image, this right here and those blown and the color change right there really hurts it for wanting it to do really super well in competition. And this one here, look at those light leaks. Wow, my eye is really being pulled away from this beautiful shot. We could crop those light leaks out. We do have catch lights in the eyes. You may want to crop this in. This doesn't help. That doesn't help. The story is right there. Go in, crop right there, and that helps this image a lot. I don't know that I would enter it necessarily in print competition. And just so you know, I did not enter print competition. Print competition had to be done for our PPA world today. And I worked, even though with COVID and everything going on, and I've had a little bit of back problems, I wasn't able to get out and shoot like I wanted to. I did have some time, but I didn't enter this year because I had too much of my stuff that I was like, it's too snapshotty. It's not over the top enough for me to do well. I knew I wasn't going to do well. And so I didn't enter this year. But anyway, well, that is, I believe, the last category. And I've turned the information over to Bill for the winners. And I guess and we can also,
or you want to go through it?
Questions or anything else you want to ask me. And I am not every time you send it up to another judge, they have different opinions. And, you know, it doesn't hurt my feelings if you don't like what I said. And I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's not the purpose for a print competition. A print competition is so that you learn things so that you can do better next time. I send my stuff to people and I tell them, don't hold back. When I had my first guy, he held everything back and wouldn't tell me. Then I entered and didn't do well. And then I finally got a guy that says, I'll tell you the truth, and this is what's wrong with it. And this is why it's not going to do well. And when I started listening, all of a sudden I started doing better. And I got, you know, my accolades that I wanted because I listened to what the judges said, even if I didn't like it at the time. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Kevin, thank you very much for the candid feedback. I'm sure everybody, whether they liked it or not, appreciates the fact that you were candid, and I think that really helps longer term in terms of what people you know, do with their images. So Bill, without further ado, why don't you tell us who our winners are?
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have the images to show, so.
All right, let me stop
I'll just-
sharing so y'all can get to there. All right, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I must have not, I needed to go back, don't I? I forgot, sorry. I gotta share again. All right, let me hit share again. I thought that was, oh, there we go, share. Sorry. All right, so which category we want to do first? Being at home?
Yeah, let's do it in alphabetical order, being at home.
All right, so.
Just 1 second here.
Let me
I gotta
get
bring
my,
this thing down.
where is my paperwork?
I gotta be able to see this. Okay, here we go. So being at home, the honors goes to Sprinkles of Wonder. There you go. That's honorable mention. In 4th place, we have, and that's, excuse me, and that's Diana Halstead. We're now at the place we'll do names. It's Diana Halstead, and that's honors. In 4th place, we have Nancy Flynn, Reflective Beauty. 3rd place in being at home is Anita Fanick with Impression of a Rose.
I'm looking for it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you got it. In 2nd place, we have Jerry Veal with Make a Splash. And in 1st place, we have Still a Rooster, Helen LaRue. So everybody can fake that they're applauding now. Since we can't hear you. Moving on to general. Honorable mention is Wainwright with Street Ink. There we go. In 4th place, we have Jack Ryder with Mormon Barn. Third place, Midnight Beauty by Savvy Dobbs. Second place is Gossip Girls by Diana Halstead. And first place is Aqua Ballerina. Photographer is Liz Pierce. So congratulations to everybody in that category. Marvelous work, really good stuff, at least in my humble opinion. All right, my opinion, it's probably never humble. Moving on to nature. In 5th place, there we go. So that's 200 feet by Linda Caden. In fourth place, we have Fierce by Leslie Kirkwood. And boy, that is one fierce bird. One fierce looking bird, anyway. In third place, we have In Sync by Moody McCall. And in second place, we have Osprey, also by Moody McCall. There we go. And finally, in first place, we have Linda Caden with Rose Petals Are My Favorite.
Oh,
Congratulations to all of the folks in that category, and great efforts by all, certainly, in trying to come up with images. Okay, moving on to people. Hold on one second. I got to come down a little bit here. Yeah. All right, here we go. A brush and Lou Martra is the honorable mention. Photographer is Wayne Wright. In fourth place, we have Blow Me a Kiss by Helen LaRue. Third place, we have Make Believe by Nancy Flynn.
I'm looking. Where? Yep, there we go.
There you go. That's Nancy Flynn, Make Believe. Second place is Cindy Merrill with Clarinet Jamming in NOLA. And finally, in first place is Powerful Grace by Derek Keofi. Derek, I'm sorry if I just butchered your name. And that's it. Did I get categories? Did I miss anything?
I think we're good.
I thought so. Okay.
And you'll send those out, Bill, in an email, or send them to me and I'll send them to folks?
Yeah, if you would, we can send them out an email, and I will also post it on Facebook.
Sounds great.
Thanks everyone who participated. I did not enter because I thought that might be a conflict of interest, but I really enjoyed seeing everybody's images in advance and then seeing the results. It's been a very interesting experience chairing this competition. So thank you all for participating.
And thank you for handling all of that, Bill. So appreciate that.
And I have to thank Jerry because he did all the technical work. I just had to kind of shift things around, but Jerry went through a lot of technical effort to make this anonymous and separate out the images from the maker so we could have fair judging and all those kinds of things. And of course, thank you to our judge, Kevin Floyd. Much appreciate your feedback. You provide an insight that I haven't heard from some other judges. So I think that makes it very interesting.
Yes, thank you very much.
And thank y'all for having me. And Bill, I must say, did an excellent job. About the time that I was thinking things needed to be, I'm doing my things. I'm getting a text from Bill about the same time. So Bill did an excellent job on keeping things going along. So a lot of time, I'm very self-starter and I have a calendar of things when I have to get things done, but it was very reassuring that every time I was ready to make a move, Bill was right there on the same page, and he was doing a very good job of, making sure that everything moved smoothly in case you had to do this again and you had a judge who needed some more, guidance. He did a good job.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate it.
You feel like, oh gosh, I'm terrible.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We will put the recording out on YouTube, hopefully in the next couple of days. So take care, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you, Jerry.
Right.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.